inscriptions as well. So this is the pillar, the main. So there are many inscriptions inside Pattadakal, and like as he was saying, there are even Tamil inscriptions in Pattadakal. Sorry, I mean there are Gandha inscriptions in Pattadakal. So there are all kinds of inscriptions on temple walls. It's actually Pattadakal is rare. I mean Karnataka I think is rare in that you also find the architect's sign on temples. So every temple has at least one small inscription or something, but this is the most important inscription. This is where we learn a lot about Chalukya history. In fact this about Vikramaditya's exploit inside Kanchi, all of that we get from this inscription. And it's called it was inscribed not during his reign but during the reign of Kirtivarma. Kirtivarma's father was Vikramaditya, and so here the inscription is it's one inscription but inscribed in two languages. One is two scripts. One is Grantha, one is Siddhamatrika, which is let's say it's considered a precursor of Devanagari, and the other is Hale Kannada. The script is Hale Kannada, but the inscription is still in Sanskrit. And I think the inscription talks about a little about the genealogy of the Chalukyas. It begins with a very beautiful, let's say, poetic. It begins with very beautiful poetry. I'll just read a little from that inscription for you. So it says, Om Namah Shivaya Sajayatu Vama Bahu Parichumbita Vadpayodharo Sthalo Alikula Kola Leela Alaka Vidrita Karagra Mandalo Dashasha Shatanayana Kirana Parivardhita Raga Rasati Vardhito Vikasita Pundarika Pratimo Hara Gauri Sajayatu. And so this is translated this is really complicated, let's say, samasa. So this is translated in the Epigraphia Indica as reverence to Shiva, that is Om Namah Shivaya. Victorious, Jayatu is victorious. Be that union of the god Hara and goddess Gauri, in which the face and breasts of the goddess are passionately kissed by the left arm of the god, in which the fingers of the god separate themselves among the curled tresses of the goddess that imitate the quivering movements of a swarm of black bees, and which resembles in beauty a fully expanded white water lily. This is Mallikarjuna basically. White water lily, enhanced by the awesomeness of yellow water lily, brought to maturity by the rays of the sun. So this is the beautiful. That two lines translated to such a complicated. It gives us such a complicated English translation. So this is what the inscription begins with. But since then he talks about the different kings who preceded Kirtivarman. So Kirtivarma. This includes Vijayaditya. So one thing that needs to be added is that all Chalukya kings call themselves Satyashraya. And I think later it becomes a motif among Karnataka kings themselves. So even in Kalyani Chalukyas, you have a king named Satyashraya. And so there's Vijayaditya. Then there's Vikramaditya, and so here is the most important line, which is the most important verse. So the translation goes as, of her, the glorious Loka Mahadevi, the uterine young sister, a dear queen of the glorious Vikramaditya, and the mother of Hail, Kirtivarman, Satyashraya, the favorite of fortune and of the earth, the Maharaja, the Raja, the Parameshwara, the Bhattaraka, the glorious Ripasimha Raja, the glorious Trailokya Mahadevi. By her there was erected a great temple of the god, the holy Trailokyeshwara Bhattaraka. On the west of this, thus in the middle of these shrines, by the sculptor Shubhadeva, who belongs to the Sandilya Gotra and who is the son of the sculptor Shiva Vardhamana and the son of the sculptor Shiva, or rather by the Acharya Jnana Shiva, who is the disciple of the disciple's disciple, at the feet of him, the venerable and worshipful Payobhakshin, who has of Shiva Shasana and who has come here from Mrigatha Nikahara, Vishaya on the north bank of the river Ganga and is dwelling on the asylum of the holy Vijayeshwara Bhattaraka. There has been set up in the gateway of this particular shrine the great stone pillar which bears the mark of the seal of the trident. So this describes the Triloka Mahadevi temple is the Mallikarjuna temple. So that's what so here you find the history of the pillar inscription as well as the Triloka Mahadevi temple or the Mallikarjuna temple. And the Loka Mahadevi, and there's also the Loka Mahadevi temple, which was Lokeshwara temple or the Loka Mahadevi temple, which was commissioned by Loka Mahadevi, who is the first wife of Vikramaditya, which is the Virupaksha temple. And I'm trying to find a section which mentions Kanchi. Meanwhile, I think you can read your inscription. You can start talking about your inscription.
Yeah, sure. So when we look at the inscription, there are so many inscriptions in Kanchi Kailashanatha. So the Shasana inscription is in the Vimana itself, which is shloka after shloka. And in the Deva Kulikas that we saw, the small shrines that go around, there are titles of Rajasimha that are inscribed. Say, for example, here I think it reads Shri Ajayaha, Shri. Okay, Shri Ajayaha, Shri Avanibhajanaha, Shri Kalakopaha, Shri Ahavadhiraha, here Ahavadhiraha, Shri Kalakopaha. So these are titles that are assumed by Rajasimha. So where Ajayaha, one who is not winnable, Shri Ahavadhiraha, who is like a dhira or a winner in Ahava, which is war. Shri Kala Kopaha, one who is who is angry on death, which means he is never going to die. Things like that. So Shri Kala Samudraha, here is Shri Kala Samudraha, who is who is like an ocean of arts and all of that. And these title inscriptions have been inscribed in Alankara Grantha here, and then Nagari, Alankara Nagari here. So and then here it's not there, but you have 4 scripts: Grantha, and then Alankara Grantha, calligraphic Grantha, and then you have Nagari and calligraphic Nagari. So
the one that is the smaller, the sample is that Alankara Grantha?
Yes, this is Alankara Grantha.
Right.
So this actually is from the other side. This reads the name of the temple, which is Shri Rajasimha Pallaveshwara. So actually this is Ray, but the temple's name is Shri Rajasimha Pallaveshwara. This is the Shasana inscription just below the Dakshinamurti thing. These inscriptions are very close to me because these are the first inscriptions that I went there and physically read from the wall after studying Grantha. So they're very dear to me, like letter after letter, reading, writing, and then reading it together. And it was nice. So this particular shloka that introduces the temple's name goes like this: Shri Rajasimha Pallaveshware Deva Surendra Vrinda Vandita Nagendra Bhoga Bhima Bhushana Sthane Stitostu Shankaras Chiram. In this temple of Rajasimha Pallaveshwara, may Shiva, who is worshipped adored by all the devas, one who is wearing nagas everywhere, and let that Shiva be here always. That's how he dedicates the temple to this. But the starting of the inscription we are not able to read today. The Britishers did do a small documentation of it. It talks about some Ganga Avatara and all of that. But today what we can read starts from Tatsunuhu Shakramantri Guru Amrita Bhujantasya Shamyuhu Tanujaha Tasmad Ugra Prabhavad Guru Rati Mahita Labdha Janma Munindraha Sashriman Pallavanam Kulanidhi Abhavadyo Bharadvajanama Tasmad Dronasya Guruvati Mahitaha Pandavanam Kuruna Ashwathama Tato Bhut Pruthuravanibhatam Stairya Manapahari Tat Sunuhu Pallavakyaha Sakala Vasumati Bhoginam Parthivanam Shuranam Adhibhuto Muniva Vijayanam Anvayasya Karta. So that is they again describe their genealogy, Pallava genealogy, like how you described Charukya genealogy. So they say that to Indra there was a Shakra or Indra, there was a mantri or a minister called as Shamyu, and to Shamyu was born Pallavanam Kulanidhi, the Kulanidhi of Pallava, who is Rishi Bharadwaja. So Rishi Bharadwaja is like the Kutastha Purusha of Pallava, and they claim Bharadwaja Gotra as their Gotra. So they say that, you know, here he claims that, Guru Shriman Pallavanam Kulanidhi Abhavat Yo Bharadwaja Nama Tasma Dronasya. To Bharadwaja was born Drona in Mahabharata, and Dronasya Guru Rati Mahitaha Pandavanam Kurunam, to, you know, Drona, who was respected by both the Pandavas and the Kauravas, to him was born Ashwathama.
Right.
Ashwathama Tato Bhut Pruduravani Bhritam Sthairya Manapahari. Whoever is the enemy, he subdues their pride. Sthairya Manapahari. To that Ashwathama, Tatsunuhu, his son, Ashwathama's son, Pallavakyaha. Pallava was born. And they say Pallavakyaha. And to him was the clan of Pallavas was there. And Sakala Vasumati Bhoginam Parthivanam, who enjoy all the bhogas of the world. Sakala Vasumati Bhoginam Parthivanam Shuranam Adibhutaha. All the valorous kings of Pallavas, the origin lies in this person called Pallava. So that's how, you know, they introduce their genealogy, and that is where they introduce Parameshwara by saying, they just jump across to Parameshwara. Not every king after every king, they don't do that. Jump across to Parameshwara, where they say, jump across to Rajasimha only, but through Parameshwara. How he does that is very, very interesting. He says, he has introduced this genealogy of the family of Pallavas, and he says, Tesham Vamshe, in that Vamsha, in that lineage, Tesham Vamse Prasutaha was born, Tesham Vamse Prasutad Ranarasikapurad Mardanad Agradandaha. So, you know, the person who went and actually killed or, burnt Ranarasikapura of the Chalukyas. Tesham Vamshe Prasutaha Ranarasikapurad Mardanad Agradanda. There is a spelling mistake. It must have been Ugradanda, the ferocious Danda, but it is written as Agradanda. Mardanad Agradandaha. How it's very interesting. He says,
no, even Agradanda, I think it works. I mean, as the primary.
Yeah, as primary Danda. Yeah, probably. Yes, it works. So, Subramanya Kumaro Guhaiva Paramadishwarat Attajanma. That's very, very interesting. Rajasimha compares himself with Subramanya or Kumara, Kartikeya, and he says, like how Kumara or Kartikeya is the Senapati, he is the warrior.
Right.
And that Subramanya was born from Parameshwara, son of Parameshwara. Like that, I am the Senapati of, all the valorous Senapati, like Subramanya. I am also born of Parameshwara. There Parameshwara Shiva, here Parameshwara Varman the Pallava.
Right. Wow, that's actually very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where he continues by saying, Vidita Bahunaya Shaiva Siddhanta Marge Shriman Atyanta Kamaha. Calls himself as Atyanta Kama, the man of endless desire. And he says, Vidita Bahunaya Shaiva Siddhanta Marge. First reference to Shaiva Siddhanta in inscription that we find in the early 8th century. There is one more I want to talk about. I'll leave it to you and then come back. Like how you started the inscription in Pattakal with Namah Shivaya. Rangapataka's inscription, who by Dr. Nagaswamy is believed to be Rangapataka, the lady, is believed to be the queen of Rajasimha by Dr. Nagaswamy, but Dr. Shankaranarayan believes that is a mother of Rajasimha, which again has both of them have very good points. I mean, we can look at that if there's time. So that begins with the letters Namah Shivaya. In fact, even before going into Kailasanatha, the first, because this shrine of Rangapataka is outside the main shrine, so that's the first thing I read was Namah Shivaya. So that's something that I hold here to my heart. But she starts her inscription with Namah Shivaya, and I'll explain her inscription in a little bit. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the same way you mentioned, Vatapi Kondana. Rasika Puraranat. What?
Ranarasika Purad Mardana.
Yeah. So similarly, I am looking at an inscription which says Kanchi Pura Vimardhana Sri Vikramaditya Satyashraya. So I found the line. So it says Chalukya Vamsha Vadhamana Raghuvira Kaliyuga Nisrishta Manaha Surya Sutamiva Dana Ratha Sada Vrikodharamiva Sahasarasikai Sri Niravadya Udara Vijayaditya Satyashraya Sri Prithvi Vallabha Maharajadiraja Parameshwara Parama Bhattarakena Stapita Mahashaila Prasada Sri Vijayeshwara Bhattarakasya Dakshina Digbage Sri So Vijayaditya is the father of Vikramaditya. So that's why they keep mentioning Vijayaditya. Vijayadityasya Atmajah Priya Putrah Sri Anivarita Anivarita Samasta Samanta आहत पादयुग्मः कांचीपुर विमर्दन श्री विक्रमादित्य सत्याश्रय पृथ्वीवल्लभ महाराजाधिराज परमेश्वर भट्टारकस्य हैहय वंश संभूत प्रिय महादेवी उमा भागवतैव लोकमाताया स्थापितो महाशैल प्रासाद श्री लोकेश्वर भट्ट. Yeah, from here I think I read the rest of it. So I mean, I think the translation is very simple here also. So it is there. He is saying possessed of a mind that was free from the contaminations of Kali Yuga, like a very Raghu promoting the increase of the race of the Chalukyas, ever delighting in charity, like Karna, the son of the sun. So so I think Surya Putram was mentioned once. So that is so like he is using that as a simile for charity, characterized by impetuity. Like Rikodara, such was the glorious and blameless and Satyashraya, and then the son was Vikramaditya, and then that continues. He defeated. He is the controller of Kanchipuram. So I think this is the most central inscription, the one that we find in Siddhamatrika and Holiday Kannada scripts. So because here, I mean, there is so many things open up before us, right? Because one, we get the sculptors names. In fact, if you saw mention Anivarita, so there is another sculptor who is inscribed on Virupaksha temple itself. The sculptor's name is Gunda Anivarita, and so he's given some land, in fact, near Virupaksha temple in Pattadakal. So
he gave to the temple, or the king gave to the sculptor?
No, the king gave it to the sculptor. So land is donated to the sculptor, and that is also inscribed in Virupaksha itself.
Okay.
And we also told that Sarva Siddheshwara, that's another sculptor's name, and they use the word Tenk. So they believe that he might have, because that means south, right? So they believe that he may have come from Kanchi itself.
Oh, okay.
But there's actually, I think there is a huge debate over there. So they're not sure if about the style about whether the style as having come from the south or a sculptor himself. So that is the confusion over there. But yeah, so this inscription is special because one, the enmity between Chalukyas and Pallavas, that clearly opens up. And then you go, Vijayaditya was followed by Vikramaditya was followed by Kirtivarma. And then we know about the two queens, and that's another rarity here. I mean, you were saying even what's the
Rangapataka.
Yeah, Raktapataka. So the two queens, they commissioned the two major temples of Pattadakal. And you please go ahead with Raktapataka's.
Before that, first I would like to thank for these photos I took from Sri Rangaratnam Gopu's blog. So thanks to him. Others, most are my things, and the drawing that I took was from ASI. So thanks. Wherever credit is due, it is due. Having said that, coming back. One very, very interesting inscription of in Hale Kannada in Kailashanatha temple is by Vikramaditya II. So where Vikramaditya, before going to Rangapataka, I just come to Rangapataka in a bit. But since you mentioned Vikramaditya and all his glorious inscriptions in Chalukya territory, he inscribes because in Hale Kannada, because Kannada is of course divided. Purvada Hala Kannada, Hale Kannada, Nadu Kannada, Hosa Kannada, and then Adhunik Kannada. So in Hale Kannada, Vikramaditya is second, because it is said that 3 times he comes to Kanchi and causes havoc. So second time, scholars believe that in the second time he inscribed this, and he says.
So he said that he came as a warrior, as a general in his father's army. Once as king himself, and once his son went. Like, I mean, as in 3 phases. He went.
So this is the second time where he himself comes.
Yeah.
And that time Kanchi is gone. He is ordered to burn up Kanchi. But then he looks at the beauty of this temple of Kailashanatha, where the inscription reveals much more about that. He says, Swasti Vikramaditya Satyashraya Shri Prithvi Vallabha Maharajadiraja Parameshwara Bhattaraka Kanchim Kondu. Kanchi has been captured. Kanchim Kondu Raja Singheshwara in Prakrita it becomes Raja Singheshwara. Raja Singheshwarada Dhanaman Kand, looking at the splendor of Raja Singheshwara. Kand is to see. So looking at the splendor of this temple called Raja Singheshwara, or Dhana or the wealth, however you want to interpret it. Dhanaman Kand Magildu, being very happy about it. Magildu in Tamil means happy. A Proto-Dravidian probably, Magildu. Devarke Bittar, he has given it back to the Deva. He has not looted it and taken away because the temple is so beautiful, he says. So reading it again, I mean, it's so beautiful. He says, Sasti Shri Vikramaditya Satya Shraya Shri Prithvi Vallabha Maharajadiraja Parameshwara Bhattaraka Kanchim Kondu Raja Singheshwara the Dhanaman Kandu Magildu.
Actually, I'm interested in this Pondu word. So do you have it in Tamil as well right now? Pondu?
Pondu is still in Tamil, yes.
Yeah.
Proto-Dravidian. Dhanaman Kand, this is Kand. Kand is to see, Kondu is to take.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Kanchim Kondu, Dhanaman Kand Magildu, Devarke Bittar, given it back to the Deva. And he says, Indu Bitta Bhattarara Dharma Siddhiyu, whatever is given by the Bhattara or the king to the Dharma, as a Dharma to the temple, Indu Bitta, today whatever he has given, Indu Bitta Bhattarara Dharma Siddhiyu, Ee Aksharangalu Mana Ajiva. And these aksharas that he has inscribed in the pillar, if anybody even thinks that these have to be destroyed or stopped, Ee Indu Bitta Bhattarara Dharma Siddhiyu, Ee Aksharangalu Mana Ajivar, Ee Uru, this Kanchi place in the city of Kanchi, Ee Uru Ghatikaiva Mahajanamar Kondara Lokatke Sendarappa. So he says, you know, whoever thinks that this inscription and the dharma should be destroyed or should be stopped will go to the world where the university students or the Mahajanas of the university that is there in Kanchi, Ghatikasthana, if somebody is going and killing those people, those learned men of the university, if somebody goes and kills them, they will go to some Naraka. If somebody else is thinking that this dharma that Satyashraya has given to the Kailasanatha temple needs to be stopped, that person will also go to the same Naraka where a person killing a learned person will go.
Yeah.
He inscribes a curse also in the inscription and says, Ee Aksharangulu Mana Ajivar, Ee Uru Ghatikeva Mahajanamar Konnara Lokatte Sendarappa. And then also, as you said, we get the information of the architects and all that in Chalukya territory. Here, the inscription ends by saying, Nityashri Anivarita, again Anivarita, Anivarita Punyavallabhena Likitam Idam Vallabha Durjayena Adhikaritam. So Nityashri, may auspiciousness prevail everywhere. Anivarita Punyavallabhena Likitam Idam. The person who inscribed this on the pillar, the scribe's name is Anivarita Punyavallabha. And that was, the scribe should not inscribe whatever he wants. So that was overseen by a person called Vallabha Durjaya. Vallabha Durjayena Adhikaritam. So that is the Chalukya inscription that we get in Kanchi.
This is the alternation between languages. It's
Sanskrita
like,
and
Prakrit, and you know, you can see Dravidian words. It's so beautiful in this whole entire phenomenon.
And also you notice the word Ra, that is today only in Tamil and Malayalam. Tamil is used frequently in Halaya Kannada. Magildu and all of those words. So Ra has been in usage in Halaya Kannada very frequently. So shall I go to Rangapataka? I'll just complete in a bit. So Rangapataka.
Sure. I'm done with what I wanted to say.
So Rangapataka's inscription is also very, very interesting. Again, a riddle kind of. I don't know why Pallavas are fond of these Iratura Molidal, we say. One poem with two meanings. So she also uses that. Sleshas, Bhartuhu Puron Mardana Drishtaha Danurbalasya Shailadhiraja Tanaye Iva Vrishadhvajasya Ya Kala Kala Iti Vishrutaha Punyakirtehe Kanta Nitanta Daita Parameshwarasya Nirmapita Ramyam Rangapatakaya, she says. Ramyam, beautiful shrine, has been Nirmapita, done by Rangapataka. That we'll leave aside. She says, Bhartuhu, she who is the mistress of Parameshwara, who is famed as Kala Kala, who subdued Kala or Yama, who is Shiva. So this is Parvati, whose sign was a Vrishabhadvaja, Shiva's Vrishanka, and he manifests as Puron Mardana. The Tripura was destroyed by Puron Mardana, who is Shiva. Like that Parvata Putri, she is comparing herself. So what Dr. Nagaswamy feels is that Parameshwara is a title assumed by Rajasimha also. And Rajasimha also in these title inscriptions, he calls himself Vrishankaha. And therefore, this must be the queen of Rajasimha, using Rajasimha's titles such as Parameshwara and Vrishankaha, and adding to her own this thing, like how he compares with Shiva, she is comparing herself with Parvati. But Dr. Shankar Narayanan is of the opinion, no. She specifically says Parameshwara. So therefore, she must be the wife of Parameshwara Varman. Why do you go to the level of assuming the title has been taken? It can be literal also, Parameshwara's wife. Like how Rajasimha says, Parameshwara's Atha Janma, I am the son of Parameshwara. So like that, this could be Parameshwara's wife and Rajasimha's mother, who is, building a shrine here. So like that, and Vrishankaha, Vrishabhadvajaha, Vrishabha was the sign of insignia of Pallavas as well. So it's a very good riddle that she is making. Yeah, and Kala is another epithet that Pallavas have been using. In Mamallapuram Chalavan Kupam also, Yadina Vidata Bharato Yadi Naharir Naradoba Navaskantaha Bodhum Kaiva Samartaha Sangeetam Kalakalasya. Who will understand Kalakala's music if not for Bharata, if not for Skanda, if not for Narayana, if not for Narada? So Kalakala also has been used by the Pallava kings to describe themselves, especially Rajasthan.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another interesting inscription. So here's Revant at Patadaka.
I mean, I was so the creepers. You can also find elephants in the middle of creepers, and this is again throughout. I think that there's actually a big motif in Indian temple architecture. Is that elephants are the ones that will hold the adhisthana of the temple. Like that is a structure. Elephants are able to, yeah.
Yes, I mean Trotman's work on elephants is just. So yeah, this is me trying to read whatever is there in Kailash.
Yeah.
Yes, I think there is an eye there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we'll meet you probably with another other set of topics to discuss next time. So thanks, Revant.
Yeah.